Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Traynumba3 with another Dragon Ball video. And today I got a very special guest with me. Come on in. Welcome yourself, my boy.
Yo, my name is Yikimoto, aka Chris Brown, the writer and creator of Omega Barack. Thank you for having me on board, man.
Oh,
Good to
yeah.
be back again.
Oh, yeah. You already know, man. It's two. We got two manga writers up in here. The author of Omega Blacku by Yikimoto, and the author of Phantom by Traynumba3 right here. So we about to go in on Dragon Ball Super Superhero, our review. Two of us, both of us
Yeah,
grew up with
boy.
this series. We've been watching this shit for over 20 years now. So it's the perfect time to do this.
It's been that long.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
cannot believe it's been that long.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
cannot
Like,
believe it.
I remember
That's
being in
crazy, dude.
I remember being in elementary school, going home, rushing to that TV and even hopping on Budokai and Tenkaichi and all
Yep.
that. So I'm already knowing, man.
Everybody at school knew what was going to happen. Like everybody knew, like, all right, man, I gotta get to the crib by 5 o'clock. Make sure I catch Dragon Ball Z on Tsunami. But
Yeah.
you knew everybody next day was going to have that conversation about what happened in the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, man. Those are some good times, some great times. I hated it at some points because I played football. So like during football season, I will miss some really good episodes. I'll either have to go catch them re-aired or go buy the. Yeah, back then we had to go buy the VHS tapes. So like I would have to go buy the VHS tape of whatever Dragon Ball episodes that we missed out on watching on that tsunami. So like man, it was fun, man. Even trying to search out for those VHS tapes, it was fun. To add it to the experience, to add it to the fandom of anime.
Oh yeah, man. Most definitely, man. Same here. Same thing with me and my brother. We was doing the same shit. I still got them Dragon Ball GT VHS tapes up in here, man. I'm gonna have to show you that one of these days. But yeah, man.
Man, and
Are you ready to get started?
yeah, yeah, let's get it.
All right, guys. So without further ado, check this out, bruh. This is how we gonna do things, all right? But wait, give me 1 second. I gotta go do something. Hold up. All right, there we go. Had to put the music on back in the background. But look, so check this out.
Hey,
We're gonna do it like this. This is Dragon Ball Super Superhero. I hate that title. A review. We're gonna have the good, the bad, the ugly, and what will we change? And the reason why that I'm saying all this is because I ain't gonna speak too much on this community, but everybody know how this whole community gets. You feel me?
mhm.
So without further ado, let's get started with the good. Uh, Yikimoto, I want you to go first, real quick.
Well, what's good to me is that we got to see another story being told from Akira Toriyama's standpoint of his characters. You know, in this business, it's very hard to get your stuff to animation level or even popular to enough to where studios will want to invest that money to get it to anime series. So, like, for having him to come on out and do another movie, that's great, especially after what we got with Dragon Ball Broly movie, which was fantastic in its own right. I mean, we knew going forward that Dragon Ball Superhero was going to be different compared to Dragon Ball Broly, but it was great to see him come back with this illustration again, and it's just going to further the series itself. It will further the characters that we got going on in Dragon Ball Super. Hopefully, bringing in another movie later on in different times with different characters. But it was just great to see all that again. The animation at some points were great. I liked the scenes where Gohan was fighting in the rain. I thought they did that very, very well. It was some things that we didn't get to see from Dragon Ball Z animation aspect. Some things that I thought was sort of they were trying to try new as far as angles go. Some of it didn't work, but it was good that they were able to try it to give it some type of fan service.
Okay, for sure, for sure. I like those answers. I could definitely, you know, see where you're coming from in terms of, Toriyama, coming out and doing some, you know, some creative and whatnot, you know what I mean? That had a different message and stuff to it, so I feel it. Is there anything good else that you want to say before I go and say my good?
I think the fan service was okay. It felt like Toy Animation Studios listened to a lot of the fans about what they wanted to see going forward. So getting Gohan back within the movie, that was pretty good. Because originally the movie was supposed to be about Piccolo from Akira's
Mm-hmm.
writing. Piccolo was supposed to be the main character of the story, and it was Kyo-san who actually came in and added Gohan into the mix and Pan in that whole storyline. So like I thought that was cool again to see Akira Toriyama try to instill some of the stuff that he wanted to do, even though it was different from what he originally had planned. And it's just good to see Akira just doing work again, man, because he's getting old now. We don't know how long he has left with us on this planet, and like it'll just be good to see him come out with a couple more movies, just showcasing how good he is as a character and what he did to the culture. Um, the bringing back of Red Ribbon Army was great too. I like in the beginning how you could see the grandson and how he was related to Jero and Jero's family line. You can see how Android 16 was like his son or whatever. I thought that was pretty interesting because then he ended up making Android 16, and we didn't even know that part when we went through the Cell Saga. We didn't know any of the attachments to the Red Ribbon Army with the androids. So I thought that was terrific as far as the way they brought that in. Um, some other good things. I'm trying to keep it limited because there was a lot of stuff that you need to talk about as far as the bad and what could be better. But like I think those were the good things I would say before I start tearing it up a little bit.
Oh, wait till I go in.
Before I start tearing it up a little bit, those are I think those are my bullet points of what good that the movie brought us. That's my standpoint, my opinion. What about you?
Hold up, give me 1 second. I got to sip on some of this water.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm about to grab me something a little bit later. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. All
I
right,
got me
so
something right here, man.
all right, so
So
check this
I
out.
feel you.
So I'm gonna keep it as short as possible, but I talk too much, so yeah, it might go for a while. So look,
Nah, go ahead, go ahead.
the good things. The first one was the intro in the movie with the history about
Ah,
the Red Ribbon Army. I enjoyed that.
yeah,
They had some really good manga animation artwork. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just flashbacks of clips from Dragon Ball and Z. They actually took the time to make those scenes. In 2D
yeah,
animation, which I thought was pretty beautiful. Like you were saying, the history of the Red Ribbon Army, me, with like Doctor Jiro's son being Android 16. They actually
yeah,
expanded upon that in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. We also find out that Android 21 is also so freaking canon,
yeah.
or
That is true.
or she became canon, and she's actually Dr. Jiro's old or first wife. Whoop de whoop, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
The next thing
that is
that I
true.
liked, the next thing that I liked about this movie was how Goku and Vegeta were not a part of the main action. I actually enjoyed that. They actually took the time
I
to
feel that.
listen and give us a story with a plot line without Goku and Vegeta, because they're OP as hell now. They just take over the show. Uh, Next thing I enjoyed, the humor. The humor in the English dub was actually pretty entertaining. It was pretty
Okay.
humorous. What I also enjoyed was how we got to see Gelton and Trunks finally fucking grow up. Um um
Same. Jesus
but
Christ.
but
So they're gonna be midgets.
to check this out. But the big one that I enjoyed was Piccolo and Pan's relationship. That relationship
For
was
sure.
fucking beautiful. Pan has so
Now,
much potential. All right, and those
now, do you think that
those
this?
are my
My bad.
main things. All right, those are my main good things. All right. Anything that you
Mm.
would like to say but before you go and destroy
Did you
this?
see? Did you notice like the relationship between Pan and Piccolo? The differences between the relationship between Pan and Piccolo and Gohan was very different. As we've seen in Dragon Ball Z, when Piccolo started training Gohan, Piccolo didn't give a shit. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? He gave him a sword, and that was like, all right, that's what you're going to use to survive in the wild, and I am not going to help you. Sometimes he did come out and help sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
he originally was planning on just leaving him out there in the wilderness and let him fend for his own. Compared to years later down the line, we get Piccolo sitting there doing actual training with Pan and teaching her how to fly and whatnot. Like, I think that kind of shows the character of Piccolo, how he's changed over the years. Yes. I would like to see him kind of keep that same toughness of character with Pan, like he did with Gohan, because that's why Gohan became so great in the process because of the brutalness that he went on when he was a kid, because of how much power that he had. I mean, this is real. This kid was like what 5 years old when he headbutted Raditz, and he had enough power to headbutt planets at that point in time. So, like, I was kind of wanting to see that same grittiness with Pan. You know, I felt like he kind of took the gloves off and was kind of hands on more with Pan than he was with Gohan. And I don't know if that's going to play more in the series, if that's going to make Pan a much more relatable character as far as like how we are known our own Dragon Ball Z fighters in the past, as far as the training, hard training, and overcoming obstacles. Is Pan gonna go through obstacles enough for us to garner behind her as a character if we don't see her go through that grittiness? That's my only concern with that, because I don't want them to go the whole Star Wars route where, oh, we're just gonna pamper the girl, and then since she's a girl, we're not gonna just make her go through hardcore obstacles because that's gonna make women look bad and all that other crap that we get in our
Mm-hmm.
other medias. I want her
Mm-hmm.
to go through the same grit that her father went through. I want her to
Yup.
go through the same grit that her uncle Goten has to go through with him and Trunks. Remember when Trunks and Goten were kids, they had to train in the hyperbolic time chamber, and Piccolo went 100,000 times harder on them than I would say he went on Gohan. Because he went into actual battle mode with those kids. So, and we got 5 year olds that turned into Super Saiyans who were able to fuse together to make a fused 5 year old that was a Super Saiyan 3. You know what I mean? But they wouldn't have gotten that if they didn't go through that grittiness of training. I just hope that that doesn't cripple the character of Pan, because that's what one of the biggest problems with GT was. I felt that Pan was crippled. They
Yup.
didn't show Pan training enough for her to be so cocky in GT, which is
Mm-hmm.
why she was so unlikable. You know what I mean?
Yup.
Like they just gave her the rope, and oh, just because she's Hercules' niece or granddaughter, she
Granddaughter.
was just automatically going to kick the bad guy's ass, and that isn't fly in storytelling. So I hope that that's not where they're going to go with the character of Pan. Hopefully they learn from the past and learn that the battle that they got from GT over the Pan character. Hopefully they'll be able to fix that going forward in Dragon Ball Super.
Okay, okay, for sure. Yeah. I felt that. Let's see. So we both said the good. Now it's time for the bad and the ugly. You want to start or you want me to start?
Yeah. I can start with this one
All
again.
right, come on, come on.
The bad part. You know what? Hey, no. You right. You right. Go ahead. You started because I started the first time around on the good. You
All
started the
right,
first
that's
time on
it.
the bad.
All right,
Go ahead.
look. All right, look. Warning. I'm about to go extreme destructive mode. So if you can't handle it, leave. We're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me start this shit, bro. Them 3D models was fucking garbage. All right. Burst Limit came out in 2008, and it looked better than this bullshit. What the fuck? All right,
Yeah,
some scenes, some,
that I definitely agree with you.
all right, some scenes were fucking beautiful, such as the fucking like, just like the fucking the fucking, excuse me, stuttering kicking in, the fucking special beam cannon shit. That part was hella
Yeah,
good,
that was nice.
but most of that shit was just straight up. Them 3D models were straight up fucking garbage. All right, next thing, y'all are still in Universe 7. You gonna give us 12 other universes, and you mean to tell me that y'all couldn't make this whole setting of Piccolo and Pan, Goku and Vegeta gone, and fucking Gohan being in action in another universe? It's not that hard. It's really not. There's nothing wrong with any of the concepts, any of the messages. It's just they're not utilizing what happened, or they're not utilizing what they brought to the table. You gave us 12 universes, and throughout all of Dragon Ball Super, since it's been out, we have not seen not one. We have not had Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Piccolo. They have not stepped one foot on any other universe with an actual story, with an actual conflict. All right, I'm not gonna count Goku going to Universe 10 because that was only in the fucking anime. And it wasn't in the manga. So I'm basically talking about like when I refer to Dragon Ball Super, I'm referring to the stuff, both the anime and the fucking manga does right, which is the same. The next thing I have is the fucking designs for Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan. Them shits is fucking garbage. All right, them shits is ugly.
Now, for the Piccolo transformation,
It's like,
they said that was supposed to be like the Piccolo tree of life. So, like, I can understand where they were going with that one, but they could have been a lot different as far as like how it could have been drawn, how it could have been presented. Again, I think that with him taking the Dragon Balls and using that to boost up his power level, that's when he kind of lost all kind of like fan hopes of him being his own kind of character,
yeah,
because we always know Piccolo to work himself out. We knew from the beginning that Piccolo was one of the smartest Dragon Ball Z characters out of all the group, between Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, Goku, Chaozu. Like, Piccolo was the smartest one. Like, he was that. So how come his smartness is not going to allow him to find a way to upgrade his own power level without having the need to go to the Dragon Balls? So like that was a kind of a downside to me, because I thought that that's what we established with Piccolo from the beginning, is that he was already different compared to all the characters. He wouldn't result of like being, he wouldn't be talking to using the Dragon Balls to further his own power. Like, no, he would train himself. He would meditate. We always caught Piccolo in his form of meditation. Characters
exactly,
like that, they don't cheat themselves out like that. So I
exactly,
felt like that was bad for his character plot, and I think that's going to be bad from going forward, because if they're going to use the same power level with Piccolo going forward, I don't know how I'll be able to look at his character the same compared to how he was in the Tournament of Power when he didn't have to do that. You
exactly,
know what I mean? And he held his own in the Tournament of Power. So like again, he should have had that foresight even after Tournament of Power, that he can push his power further than just resulting in using the Dragon Balls. I know I keep going back and forth about that one, but I just think that that was just a bad shot in the foot, man,
yeah.
for that character.
I feel where you coming from. Unfortunately, I wasn't done saying the bad, but before I continue, I'm say what I was gonna say regards to Piccolo using the Dragon Balls. Now, even though me personally, I'm definitely against using the Dragon Balls for power, especially when we had that shit 2 times in the Granola arc, which I think, in my opinion, was straight up garbage. But
which
but
we haven't
but
gotten yet. So I don't
hold
think
on,
a greater. My bad.
Yiki. So what I was gonna say was when I watched in the dub version, Piccolo asked Shenron to unlock his full potential. You know what I'm saying? So basically,
Yeah,
what Shenron did was basically what Guru or what Elder Kai did to, let's say, Gohan
yeah,
and Piccolo. So so I kind of give that like a little pass, just because
I feel you, Sam.
just because they were utilizing the principles of of the the Namekian powers. Whereas and since the Dragon Balls, you know, Shenron is obviously connected to the fucking Namekians. It will make
Yeah,
sense. But for something like Granola and Gas, where they just wish to be the strongest, then that shit is garbage. Garbage. And my
yeah.
other their bad thing, the bad and ugly. Cell fucking Max. Cell was a very iconic villain in Dragon Ball
He
Z.
is.
And they done turned this
Yeah.
motherfucker into a brainless piece of garbage. Bruh, Cell Max looks like a fucking Bakugan, bruh. You know what I'm talking about? Like Bakugan, shoot!
I haven't seen those in
Pop
years,
out
bro.
though. Then a nigga like, ability card activate. Cell Max mouth beam. You know what I'm saying?
But
It's like, bruh.
the
And
map being shot was fantastic. The animation for it was incredible. I have
yeah.
to say, it was cool how his whole body lit up like that. But like we didn't need to have that because to me it made me feel like Bio Broly all over again. And they
Exactly.
handled that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
All right. One
but I
more
also
thing.
understood that they couldn't. Go ahead.
And one more thing. The recreation of Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2. You did not need to fucking literally recreate the whole animation sequence. All right? The animation was beautiful, but you did not need to recreate a memory that's already there. You know what I'm saying? And
And then it didn't serve its full
this is what I
purpose.
what and this is what I'll be trying to tell people all the time. It's not about the concepts. It's not about what they want. It's how we go about it.
True that.
When we're done with the fucking bad, bruh, we got to talk about this from a writer's perspective. I mean, we already
Oh yeah.
but we got to break it down just a little bit more for him. But all right, so yeah, that pretty much sums up all my bad.
Okay.
Fucking mostly garbage ass 3D models. The fucking designs for fucking for Orange Pickle and Beast Gohan were fucking garbage, and also I wasn't a big fan of that Gamma 1, Gamma 2 artwork. I don't know. It was just I don't know, man. It wasn't that much. Third
I feel that.
third one,
I feel that.
third or fourth one was staying in Universe verse 7, you know, which is bullshit cuz they got a whole bunch of extra shit. And then yeah, Cell Max. So yeah, that's pretty much my bad. On to you with the bad and the ugly. Don't hold nothing back. Let that shit be known.
All right. Yeah. So some of the things that I saw in the movie, it felt like it was tropes from previous movies that we saw in the MCUs, like in Marvel Comics movies. Like, let's go to the Red Ribbon base, the second Red Ribbon base. The way they found it was cloaked in this whole veil, but it was like a whole civilization within another civilization. I felt like they pulled that right out of Black Panther. I was like, really? This is going to be like a Red Ribbon Wakanda?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of flat. You know what I mean? I felt like we could have got less of all that, and it would probably been more of an impactful story from the Red Ribbon aspect because we know Red Ribbon to be defeated. It would have been better if we would have saw a Red Ribbon army that was trying to rebuild itself into its power that it had before. not with all the glamour and the technology and all, but just a few things to make it look like, hey, we're actually trying. More like a rebel fleet than a whole army itself. You know what I mean?
Bluetooth
Like I
disconnected.
think that would have been good from the red ribbon aspect. The second thing, when Gamma 2 died, sacrifice, I felt like that was also pulled away from the MCU, and I might be pulling too much, but the way that he died, it felt like he turned into Des, sort of like the snap. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of like they could have done that to where how they did self destructions in the past. Like when we got Vegeta self destruction, he was like stone, and then he ended up, turning into ash and all that. But it just seemed like it was more like pulled out like the snap than it was a transition from ash to being blown in the wind. The train, the fight scene on the train kind of made me feel like Spider-Man 2, but I ain't gonna say that that's a bad thing because Spider-Man 2 was like one of the best Spider-Mans. So like I guess that was a good pull from that right there. Another bad thing, and this is from Akira's standpoint. Akira doesn't know that Dragon Ball Super is Dragon Ball Super.
Dumbass nigga.
So I think that's kind of bad when the guy who creates the entire series is so old now to where he doesn't know the name of his own series. I think that's kind of bad. But I mean, I'm not going to take it from him. Kid was one of my favorite creators of all time. I mean, we knew that once you go up in age, you decrease in other things. And so him not knowing his characters, his movies, I think that's a little bit of a problem. But it also shows you how much he passed down to Taro and to Kuri-san, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name, Kuri-san, the one who actually made the idea for it to be a Gohan movie versus it being a standalone Piccolo movie. That was my thing as far as the bad. I didn't like some of the animation. I felt like they should keep it with 2D, maybe clean it up a bit. But when you go in 3D, it kind of changes the whole world, make it look like Lupin the Third. I'm a big fan of Lupin the Third, but I don't want to see Dragon Ball Z and Lupin the Third animation. There's a reason why Lupin the Third works with Lupin the Third and why Dragon Ball Z works with Dragon Ball Z animation. There's no reason to try to collide those two. Um, so that was my thing. The Gohan transformation, I thought that was cliche. I don't even like it how he tried to compare himself to Vegeta and Goku. Like he almost made it seem like, oh my god, I wouldn't be able to beat Cell if I didn't get this transformation. I don't even think Father and Vegeta would be able to beat Cell. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand that these two are training with Beers and Whis. So
Mm-hmm.
like their training that they got going on right now, you don't even know what kind of training they're going through. So how would you
Exactly.
even know that they wouldn't have had that type of ability to beat Cell? Like, and you haven't even trained a year, a full on year. You just got yourself back into the ropes of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I thought that was kind of cocky from a Gohan standpoint. Now, Kira did hint that Gohan could be stronger right now, but I don't see it. I don't see it
Mm-hmm.
because Gohan has done the full on training that Vegeta and Goku had. I don't even think
Exactly.
Gohan is on the same level as Broly because Broly has been training with Whis and Beers. So like that, those characters had transformed from the previous movie. We don't even know how their fighting style is. As we've seen during the sparring match between Vegeta and Goku, Vegeta changed up his whole entire fighting style. So you can't even say that Gohan even knows Vegeta's fight style enough to know that he's going to be a better fighter than Vegeta. So I didn't like that. I think Gohan had his day. He's still a great character. He accomplished a lot within his time. He was one of the first kid Super Saiyans, and he was a child that turned Super Saiyan 2 and beat Cell. So, like, that was a great accomplishment at his own feet. But I could have done without that. Could have done without it. I could have done without Pan egging on a conflict to make her seem like she was in trouble enough for
Exactly.
Gohan to go Super Saiyan like that. I thought that was kind of lame. I hated the
Mm-hmm.
whole fist bump that she did with Piccolo. Like, yay, the plan worked. And goes like, Piccolo, you goddamn idiot. You are a murderer at some point in time. You don't see him play these little games with this little girl. What is going on here? You got a cell phone? You put him on the cell phone. You know, in the next movie, Piccolo's gonna have a TikTok. And Piccolo playing on have TikTok shows. If they do that, I will not watch another episode of Dragon Ball Super. I swear to God, it will be in obscurity with She-Hulks. Another thing I didn't like is how they put the Dragon Balls. Now the Dragon Ball is, I thought was not serious at all anymore. Where the only time when we saw the dragon was when Earth was in its moment of terror when people got murdered after a brutal fight. Now they're using the Dragon Balls to make Bulma have a bigger butt. And so
Exactly.
now we're bringing in Brazilian buttless into Dragon Ball Z in a form of Shenwan wishes.
Uh
Like,
huh.
come on, man. Like, I gotta find Joe Biden for a second. Come on, man. Like, what am I doing with this? I thought that was pretty whack right there. So, like, that was my gripes. That was my gripes. Also, I could have got a little bit more information about Broly. I could have seen a little bit more with him. I could have done a tad bit more of Goku and Vegeta plot within that. Maybe not towards the end of the fight, but just enough to help the movie out. Because let's be real, the movie, as far as financial, did worse than it did with Super Saiyan Broly. So obviously, Vegeta, Goku, Broly was enough for people to get their asses up and go to the movie theater. It's so hard to sell a movie when your character is not in the damn movie like that. And then when you only keep her there for like 5 minutes, it fucks with your true fan base. That might go well for some, but it won't boil over for the majority that will want to see it for the character that they like. So like
Mm
that was my only concern. Um, that's my bad. Let me see. I actually wrote a list down of other bad things, but I think that was it. Yeah, we got the wishes not consistent, and that's another thing. The wishes. It seems like the wishes are not consistent compared to what it was before. I know they updated it to three, but it was one at one point, then
and
three, and
two.
then knowing the manga, they changed it as well too. So like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused on that one.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. One
Yeah.
second. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. All right, we are back, and let's continue.
Eh,
All right. You were saying, you're bad, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
All right.
You
Are
know,
you
listed
done?
off a couple of things. You know, the fight scenes, some stuff that was taken from the MCU. I feel like was just little snippets. You know what I'm saying? Akira Toriyama not knowing what part of the Dragon Ball universe he's in right now. He doesn't know that it's super. I thought that was pretty funny. But that's also kind of bad if you're talking about from a investor standpoint that the person you're investing in doesn't know that what his own show is called. That's pretty funny. So it depends on how old he is, man. Kira's all the young guys, dude, very old. And we don't ever see him on interviews at all. I think that's for a reason. I think I
That
think
man.
Kira's smart as shit, man. He knows like, yeah, but I don't fuck it up. Man. So like I don't want to do no interviews right now. But like that's great when your work is so good to where you don't have to go out there and do the touring and all that. Have
Mm-hmm.
a whole company do it for you. So I think that's where we all want to be at some point of our lives when we're in this business. But I think that's something that we won't get until we're like in our 70s, our 80s, and there is no way in hell that we can get in front of a camera and be able to keep our knowledge of the shit that we've been doing when we've been doing it for like years. Like he's been in that business for a long time, not just with Dragon Ball Z and everything that's been coming out of Dragon Ball Z. You got Dr. Slump that he did before he was in Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and then all the individual projects he worked on between Dragon Ball Z and everything else, because he also had worked on Chrono Trigger, which to me was one of my favorite RPGs of all time, next to Final Fantasy. I love Chrono Trigger. I love the music off of Chrono Trigger. Was fucking amazing to me. If I could download the emulator on my phone, I would download the emulator of Chrono Trigger in my phone. If I could buy it on my PS5, I would have Chrono Trigger on my PS5. It's a beautiful game, and they should definitely remake that. If anybody from Chrono Trigger sees this, definitely remake the game because that was beautiful. That was a beautiful game. So like I'm pretty sure he has his head so much full of knowledge and so many characters that he's worked on and created in his life that at this point in time it can be a blur. It can be a blur. I can see him being like, wait a minute, where I'm at right now?
Yeah,
What
I
did we
mean,
do with Goku the
yeah.
last time? What he got blue hair now? I can see him doing that. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I mean?
mean,
Because I would do something like that when I'm his age.
yeah, because honestly, bro, as us being like manga writers and manga artists, I know for a fact that when we get in our 60s and 70s, they going to give us a character to be like, you know who that is? And we going to be tripping. We going to be like, oh, what's his name
Hell
again?
no. Yeah.
I already know. They going to
Did I,
look,
did I
look.
create this character?
Oh, yep, they going to be just like
Did I
this.
start off?
Oh, yep, they going to be just like this. They going to be like, hold up. They going to be like, hold on, give me 1 second. 1 second, I need to find a shot. They're gonna be like number 3. You remember who this is? And I'm about to be old. I'm about to be like, I created him, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah. Nah.
That's gonna
And
be us.
that's what stuff that Akira Toriyama is going through right now. Cause like this is still fun and all, but I mean, he's getting to a point in time where he's really have the other things that he has to worry about: his family, his health, all that stuff. And just like how Stanley got before he kicked the bucket, even though they kind of rolled his way to like the final kid and caboodle in the convention standpoint, that's where we differentiate between American culture when it comes down to comic books and manga culture when it Japanese culture when it comes down to manga. The way that we look at all of our creators and the people that influence us, we do it very differently. Um, but like Jesus Christ, I can just imagine the amount of things that goes on his head on an everyday basis, and how many people try to ask him about everything that he's done. Like sometimes it's hard for me to remember what I did the year before. So imagine somebody asking you what you did 20 years ago. It's like, oh shit, 20 years ago. I don't even know what the fuck I did 5 years ago. You
Uh-huh.
ask me about something 20 years ago. So like, I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it.
Most
Because
definitely.
let's be real. I think the last actual thing that Akira Toriyama actually did with Dragon Ball Z was the Majin Buu saga. Like, I think that was his last with him doing the art and all. I think that was the Majin Buu saga. That was the last part where he was able to put pencil to paper. And then after that, of course, Toro Taro came in and now taking over the reign. So it's been and the Majin Buu saga, that was so long ago. Like, that was so long ago. And you can see even in the artwork in the early stages of the Majin Buu saga, you can tell that it was really struggling. He was struggling trying to get that out. Because there was a lot of details that was going on within the Majin Buu saga when it first came. You could tell his hands wasn't really able to keep that going in a consistent basis. So like we should have known from a fan perspective that if that was like what 15, 16 years ago
That
that he
was
did Majin Buu,
that was
maybe even longer than that because
that
we
was
didn't get it until later in America.
yeah, that was like 94 to like 95, I do believe.
God damn,
Exactly.
94, 95.
I
So
wasn't
yeah,
even
we're in
born.
2022. Yeah. So I, I won't expect any human being to know their creation if they hadn't worked on it in that long period of time. Like that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh yeah,
again,
most
I'm
definitely.
just happy that we're able to see him tell the story again. That's why I wasn't happy about how the story was told and with the characters that was in it, but I'm happy that he got a chance to do it again. Because that right there, the money that they made from this movie, we all know it's going to go into the series in 2023. So they need to have this to be a success. They need Broly to be very successful, so that way they can have the money to do the series next year. Like, that's just how we're gonna have to look at it. I look at it how we look at it video games. We all know that Madden suck ass, but we know the only way that they're gonna be able to improve or somewhat improve is if customers buy the copy that's out then, so that way they can use the money to make the next copy later. Like, and it sucks because you don't know if that person is gonna do well by you, but I mean that's the business that we get in. That's the drop of the trade or the dough of the cookie or however some people say those kind of lines.
All right, for sure. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say. All right, so we both said the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, next segment, we about to go deep into a writer's perspective. So, I'm gonna start right. So, in terms
Go
of
ahead.
Dragon Ball superhero, right? Not utilizing the other 12 universes, right? And bringing back Cell
Mm-hmm.
and the Red Ribbon Army. As a
Mm-hmm.
mutual manga writer and artist like me, do you think that those elements are a huge factor in the story, like as a whole, since you introduce something in the beginning of a new series and then they never like
Mm-hmm.
explore it or keep like reusing old content for like nostalgia and marketing? Do you think
Yeah.
that bad source of writing is enough to to make it seem bad, or not really?
No, I also have to look at it from a normie perspective. Not too many people indulge themselves in the lore of Dragon Ball Z. Only like real manga fans, real anime fans, real fans to the series itself. That's in our generation. But I think they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure they expand themselves to other realms of other people that not normally will find Dragon Ball Z appealing. So like I think some of the tropes that they're doing is to cater to that class so that they can bring in more viewers and not try to keep the same viewers that they have prior. But by doing that, they do water down their product for people who are already accustomed to the way they do things. I
Mm-hmm.
do think they should expand on the new universes that they brought in with the Tournament of Power. But I also know that they do that shit every time they do a new tournament with the Dragon Ball Z series. They always bring in new people and they never expand on them. So like I thought when they did Tournament of Power, when they expanded on the universes, I thought that was just a trope to push the series further to raise the stakes of the Tournament of Power so that way
Mm-hmm.
we can get into it like we did previous tournaments. Now,
Exactly.
are we going to be able to go back to that? I think so because Akira Toriyama teased that Gohan will be able to, as Gohan right now with that new transformation is stronger than Jiren, which I have to say no, because Jiren was a fucking beast, and we seen the fight between Ultra Instinct Goku and Jiren that was fucking amazing. Even the animation was fucking amazing. So I do think that he will bring that in later on. And we already know what we got coming with the Mirror Saga and the God Saga, and now Black Frieza coming up. I think maybe he will try to bring in new universes when we bring in Black Frieza. I would like to see that. Hopefully, that's what they're saving it for, and we probably would get those details when they get the Black Frieza saga going on. Now, I wish they would have done that in the movies, but like I understand that they only have like probably 45 minutes to an hour to work with, or an hour and 45 minutes. There's so much you can do in that amount of time. They can't go all out crazy in different universes if it's going to take away from the main core of what the movie is supposed to represent.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know it's supposed to sell toys. Gohan's action figures is going to sell. Piccolo's again. I don't know if Pan action figure is going to sell because me personally, I wouldn't buy a Pan action figure. I wouldn't even go buy a Bulma action figure. Launch, maybe launch. And that's because she's an old character that been in Dragon Ball Z, and they never really done that in the history that she has with TN.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't even go out there and buy a TN toy at this period of time, unless I'm trying to collect all the Z fighters in a collection of things. So I don't know if that will even sell as well as itself. But I hope they bring in other universes going forward. Now, the Cell thing, there was bad writing, but like if they would have brought back a perfect Cell or even a Cell with the same memory as Gohan during the Cell saga, then they might as well just change it to a Resurrection C for Resurrection Cell instead of just like how they did Resurrection Frieza, Resurrection F. And I don't want them to go into that trope where they have to go bring back bad characters from back in the past to sell movies. Like I don't want to see the characters that we look up to, not look up to, but I mean we look at Frieza as a conniving character, but he's a fan favorite for being a conniving character. We look at Cell for being an asshole and a smart ass, but Cell is a fucking asshole and a smart ass. We like those characters for those reasons, and I don't want them to go bring those characters back to give us those same feelings. I want them to create something more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Definitely.
I understand them not bringing him full memory and having him look like Bio Broly, but I still think that the fight itself, having him as Bio Broly, would have been a bad thing. Tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind seeing a totally different android come into the mix that we never even seen before, like how they did with the I forget the movie. It was the movie where Gohan went back and he fought androids, and then the android had fused with the other ones and became this blue super android that he had to fight. Like I wouldn't have mind
Oh,
seeing
Super
something like
Android
that.
13.
Yes, yes, yes. I wouldn't have mind seeing something like that again because it's not like we're taking old characters and trying to throw them in there. We're trying to be original and organic and trying to bring in a new character and a new android that they can kill off at the end of we never see no more at that point because Gohan killed them. And you would have still had the same story told between the character growth of Gohan because he still surpasses what he was trying to do within the movie. Because I mean, Gohan's a nerd, and this whole thing was getting him into his battle form. Like, the one thing they better not do is go back to him being student Gohan or teacher Gohan at this point. They better keep Gohan where he's going with right now. Because if they do downgrade him to being a teacher in the series or downgrade him to doing anything else other than fighting and training, then this movie served no purpose and it was a waste of fucking time. My bad on that one.
It's all good. It's just that simple, bruh. I definitely hear your points. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe I'm just a little bit too impatient, bruh. But the reason why that, that I take that, not exploring the other universes or fucking or them bringing the Red Ribbon Army back is because when Dragon
Mm-hmm.
Ball and Z and even in Dragon Ball GT, the arcs felt connected. You know what I mean? They said something about
Yeah,
this. They went to it. When you look at Dragon Ball Super, they gave us a flock full of opportunities. I mean, dude, they could have,
yeah,
dude, they could have 12 arcs with 12 different universes. I mean, in fucking Super Dragon Ball Heroes, Goku, Vegeta, and a few others, they went to Universe 6, Universe 11, and Universe 3. So how you got the fucking video games that explore more better than the fucking main continuity? And
yeah. That
um
too.
excuse me, and we had this conversation the other day about how one writing slip up could fuck up the
Can
whole
F up a
franchise,
whole
the
damn
whole
movie.
fuck
Yeah,
up
a
story,
whole
and
franchise.
and
Yeah,
and and that's what it was with Dragon Ball Super. In my eyes, as a writer, as somebody that's create characters, write stories, and then has made plot holes to the point where they would have to redraw the whole shit, rewrite the whole shit, and push the shit back. You know what I'm saying? That's a very crucial thing. Now, as a fan
yeah,
perspective, more Dragon Ball, more Dragon Ball. But from a writer's
yeah.
perspective, do you agree that 12 universe stuff and that bringing old stuff back can literally destroy or make the whole series seem like garbage. You know.
It'll make the whole series seem like garbage.
Thank
You know what I
you.
mean? It'll like there is no high stakes at that point because they're going to keep bringing the same people back over and over. Like the elements that we got from when Cell was destroyed and Gohan, overcoming the fact that one, he got so cocky enough to let Cell get a chance to blow up the entire planet, which then
Mm-hmm.
lost us Goku was originally supposed to be the last time that we had Goku. That was supposed to be the last time Goku died and was supposed to stay dead. So like
He should
having
have.
him overcome that at the end during the Kamehameha fight between him and Cell, and him finally beating him. I think that was a great send off for Cell. It was a great send off for Goku. It was a great start of the character of Gohan, which was a plot that Akira Toriyama tried to instill going into Dragon Ball Z Majin Buu. But at that point in time, back then, when he started the Majin Buu saga, the sales for Dragon Ball Z was so horrible because fans were so attached to Goku. They wanted Goku to come back, and so he had to break down and bring back Goku, which then brought up the sales of the series itself. Um, so that let me know at that point in time back then that the community of Dragon Ball Z wasn't ready to move away from Goku at that point. Maybe they might be now since that same generation has kind of already passed on. So maybe it might be easier for them to pass the reins to another hero. But I mean, they will have to start it with a hero that will have that calling and that backing of the fans and the community that it can still sell the series. They got to put a likable character in there that's going to take it over. That's going to be better than Goku. Maybe Broly's son, have it to where Broly have a son and stuff like that, or have it to where Goten is written strong enough as a character to where he can take the reins, or Gohan himself. I think Gohan is a little bit, I won't say too old to take up the reins of it, but the way that he got his powers now, he's supposed to be the same level as Goku or Vegeta. I just don't find that believable, and I don't find
Yeah.
that to be something I can get behind in a series to continue to watch it, understanding that that's how Gohan got his powers. And it's not like how he got his powers before, and it wasn't like how his father got his powers before him. And would probably bail out on the show, which would be sad, you know what I mean? But I see something like that done to every single big IP that is in right now. X Men has been doing it. Um, uh, Marvel's been doing it. I just think that it's inevitable at a certain point. But I'm just glad that he's able to tell the story. But at some point, I ain't gonna front. You kind of have to put an accent in and be like, you gotta done it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, unless
And it's just
Goku
that
is a
simple.
good enough character to where you can take him to different universes, and the universe will react to Goku the same way that we will react to Goku as far as seeing him for the first time, and you can grow a storyline out of it. But
Mm-hmm.
like Jesus, come on, man. Um, ain't but so much storytelling that we can get out of the IP of Dragon Ball Z. And I think that's another reason why there's so many other people are trying to make not similar things, but things that complement Dragon Ball Z and what it taught us, but try to pass pass it in a way. You know what I mean? Like we got Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man looks really, really good, and I think that's going to be a very good story going forward. I think that would be a better trio. Well, not trio. I think that would be a better uh, IP to go forward versus My Hero Academia, because My Hero Academia felt like it had its high moments, but it flopped real bad. It didn't keep the attention of most people.
Oh
Not like
damn.
how Dragon Ball Z is. I don't see a My Hero Academia lasting for 40 years. I don't see it at all. I think that was for whoever that was for that period of time that was looking for that, and they're already grown up and going and finding other things. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
Most definitely, man. So we pretty much laid out the good, the bad, ugly. Speaking at it, from a writer's perspective, you know what I mean, breaking down, how good writing can lead to this and how bad writing could, change the whole series, can make it seem garbage, can make it seem, hella good, you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate
Yep.
that Dragon Ball Super Go introduce these 12 universes. Don't use it and just keep repeating shit for no reason when you got a whole bunch of shit there. You know what I mean? In conclusion,
Now,
and,
now,
um,
now, the
so
one thing I can say for the writing, the one good thing I can say for the writing, and it finished what it set out to do. It made Gohan overcome his nerdness and his schoolwork and all that, and made him become more of a warrior. So I give them that.
mm-hmm.
Everything that he did, despite the bad writing, despite the character tropes, it did push Gohan to be that fighting character that we saw during the Cell Saga.
Agreed.
I just hope that they don't change that shit going forward. Because if they change him going back to him being nerdy Gohan and not knowing to understand his powers, then again, this movie would be for nothing. You just wasted 89 or 100 something million for nothing at all. And you could have just done this as a regular series. So, like, I hope they keep the Gohan that we have at the end of this, because then great, we got the fighting Gohan. The fans that love Gohan at the end of Cell Saga, they finally got the Gohan that they were looking for. Just hope that Gohan stays canon.
Yeah, most
That
definitely.
Gohan stays canon. If that Gohan stays canon, you that will resurrect the sales of people who are interested into the series. But if that Gohan change, the series will go down. It will
Most
go down.
definitely. All right, Yikimoto, we have one last segment, and that are some things that you
All
would
right.
change about the movie. So I want you to start real quick. What are some things that you would change about this movie?
I would have took Pan out. I would have made her the comic relief because she's still trying to come into her powers. I would have made a whole funny thing about her not knowing how to fly, but learning how to fly at the end and finally getting it down. But I would have centered the movie around Goten and Trunks because that's what fans been wanting to see growing up over the last couple of years is seeing Goten and Trunks. Some of us wanted to see Goten and Trunks in the Tournament of Power and being one of those heroes in the Tournament of Power. So like having a full fledged movie centered around those two characters and how they trained and how they got better, and still adding the character, laughable character of them fucking their fusion up and becoming fat Trunks, even though we've seen a fat fusion fuck up every single time now. We've seen it with Vegeta and Goku. We've seen it with Vegeta and Goku with Janemba. Like we've seen multiple times a failed fusion that used for comic relief. I mean, we could use it again, but you can do skinny Trunks that can do different things compared to his full fledged form of Gotenks. You know what I mean? Like we could have saw that, and it would have been a different variation of a fuck up fusion, but still have the same power that a fully formed fusion of Gotenks. And then you can come back and play it later on, him getting the fusion right. And yeah, that would have brought the throwback from Broly movie, but we would have seen it between Trunks and Goten. It would have been a different side of the story told from their perspective of a fusion.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked that. I would like that more. You know what I mean? And then have that center around Gohan, having to go find Goten. We lost that brotherly love that they had during the Majin Buu saga. Because I mean, Chi Chi was the one who trained Goten and helped him become a Super Saiyan. But then we started to see Goten surprise Gohan, and that was amazing because at that point in time, the only person we knew as a young Super Saiyan was Gohan, and he was the only one as a youth that transcended Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. So now
Mm-hmm.
having his little brother coming in, Super 5 and having a Super Saiyan power ability, that right there is interesting. And I think they should have built upon that more and built up upon that brotherly concept between Gohan and Goten. And then added Trunks in there as well. And then with Piccolo, I think that would have been a great movie. And plus, that would have sold action figures. I think people would have been crazy if they wouldn't buy an older teenage version of a Gotenks action figure, or going buying older versions of Goten and Trunks separate. Like that would have been amazing because we have yet to see those characters grow up within the series. So
Mm-hmm.
finally seeing that, them having their own thing, and plus that would have set them up for whatever adventure they had to do after that. You know what I mean? Because again, that's going to be your next generation when there's Trunks and Goten, not Pan. Pan is a generation, maybe two generations younger than both of them. So like, I wouldn't have went with that. I would have went with my next generation, which was Goten and Trunks, and sold the movie based upon them two.
All right.
And teased, and I would have teased the fact that Broly had a kid. I would tease that Broly, and I can't remember the green chick that he was
Sheila, whatever
living
the
with.
fuck her name
Yeah,
is.
I would have teased the kid between them because we never seen a half mixed. Sorry, I was about to call him half mixed Asian. That was getting bad, but I mean, hey, technically, goddamn, they're just Japanese or characters are Asian. But it would have been nice to see a half breeded Sam of a different kind of race. Like from here, we always got the human sand. What if we got a sand mixed with a different other kind of alien that we
Mm-hmm.
never even seen before? And then
Yeah.
now you got
Now you're
that
talking.
alien species with the sand blood in them, with Broly blood nonetheless. So now you got a Broly different sand alien baby coming into the mix. I think that would have been great, especially going up behind. That could have been your character that you had with Pan and help Pan out. And now Pan has a person that she can throw her character on. That character has something he can throw himself off of and learn it from the generation that's ahead of them with Goten and Trunks. I think that would have been fucking great.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. I appreciate you saying your thoughts. We kind of run out of time, so I'm gonna keep.
My bad. My bad.
It's all good. I'm gonna keep my rewrite as short
My
as
bad.
possible. So first of all,
Okay.
first of all, Beast Gohan, that design gotta go. All right. I would have rather had him get a much more powered up version of his like ultimate form. Maybe be a little bit buffer. Maybe have his
Yeah.
hair be like black and longer instead of him having white hair. Cause I kind of
Longer.
got those baby Vegeta
Oh,
vibes. The next thing that I
he
would
looks like
change.
somebody off a Street Fighter.
Yep. Yep. Next thing that I would fucking change is the Red Ribbon Army and Cell Max. I would take both of those out. And I would make it just like this. This is as simple as possible. All right. Somebody from another universe wants revenge on Universe 7. That universe has technology to where that they could jump to other universes using these cards. So they would come to
Mm.
Universe 7 with with fucking two cards and they kidnap Pan looking for Goku, Gohan, etc. However, that
Okay.
person that kidnapped Pan would have dropped one of his cards. So Piccolo, Gohan, Gelten, Trunks, Krillin, 18, 17, and even Majin Buu. They would all use that card to go to that other universe to save Pan. And then that's when, they all got that fight, and then after fight they go back to Universe 7 while Goku and Vegeta are out
Yeah.
there training. Do you see how simple and original that was?
That could definitely work, and I would have been happy with that one as well.
Exactly. Like
I
it's
would have been
not
happy
that
with that too.
hard.
Even with
You know
Pan
what I'm
being in the
saying?
mix, that would at least been something different enough to be wrapping my head around with. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not that fucking hard, bruh. All right. All right, guys. Guys, it's not that hard to do something original. It's not. You feel me? Me and you,
No, but
bruh.
these companies.
Bruh, honestly, bruh. On bruh. Bruh, honestly, bruh, me and you, bruh, we just gotta write a whole Dragon Ball arc. Fuck this bullshit. Hey, Toriyama and Toei, we gonna write our own arc, and I promise you, ooh, what we write will destroy anything that y'all came up with after Battle of Gods. And if y'all don't believe us, contact us. Send us an email, and we promise we will bring this series back the way it's supposed to be. Two manga artists, two manga writers, right here, and it's just
I'll
that
be down
simple.
for that, man.
So yeah,
I'll be
but
down for that. But
but
I
yeah,
know how
man.
the executives are. when they planned this whole movie together, they probably sat in the room and was like, "All right, guys, we got to think of something that's not going to garner the most hard work or the most thing that's going to make us invest any more than what we have to." You know what I mean? A lot of these companies, when they have something as legacy as that one, they try to not differentiate at all from it or change it at all because one, they don't really understand the problems that they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Two, they know that if they f it up, then they're gonna f up not just their money, but they're gonna f up another company's money too. So
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of companies are very hesitant of doing new stories because a lot of people they don't really know how to tell that new story and be organic and be fun and new right now without being a little bit offensive, a little bit crazy, a little bit anything. That's why Chainsaw Man is so popular because the concept of it is so obscure, but it fucking works. You got a motherfucking dude that literally changes into a goddamn chainsaw. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think that's pretty dope and it's pretty gory at the same time. But I think those are the elements that build up a great story. And we're losing a little bit with that with Dragon Ball Super, and hopefully they can get some of that with the series or the chapters they got with Miro and Guys. We don't know. I've yet to dive myself in those mangas because I've been so busy with Omega Baraku. I haven't really had the time to go back and look at those two, and I don't
Same
want to
here.
spoil myself when I do neither. You
Yup,
know what I
same
mean? I
here. Just
want to
been
be
working
able.
on this.
I you know what I mean? I want to be able to go in there with a clear mind. But I
Yup.
did see some of the stuff. I like the backstory they used with Burdock with Josh. I'm interested to see a little bit more of that one. What I do hope is that they don't change enough of the history enough that it changes the story itself and the way that we look at our characters right now. I mean, we already got some of that with Burdock, and we look at Burdock in a better light now, especially after the Dragon Ball Broly movie when we saw how his character is before the whole planet destruction with Frieza and all that stuff. How he was really trying to get Goku out of there and get him to a different planet. So like, hopefully they don't muck it up too much where we don't change the uh, character traits with why we like the characters that we like, and hopefully that they can expand upon that and just make it more flesh out version of the story that we didn't get a chance to get, which was the prequel to all this, which the Saiyan story. Like we never got a full fledged Saiyan story about how the Saiyans ever came into be or how they came into power. We only be gotten bits and bits to understand what has happened between the start of Bardock's rebellion and the end with Frieza's destroying planet Vegeta. We really haven't gotten too much, so I would like to see a little bit more expanded upon that. I want to
Mm-hmm.
see more about King Vegeta. If you look
Definitely.
at Omega Baraku, my main character in Omega Baraku, the way I designed him was after King Vegeta. I think King Vegeta is a very important character, and I think in
Okay.
knowing King Vegeta and knowing his father that came before him would be even more crazy because then we get a more fleshed out history of the Saiyans that we really don't know
Yeah.
too much about.
Hey, oh, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up,
Like
hold up.
I want to see that.
Hold up, hold up. So, sorry to cut you off, but it's about that time for us
You good?
for us to wrap up, bruh. Thank you so much for
All right,
joining. You have a good one, and
all right, dude.
we gonna do another video pretty
Thank
soon.
you for having me on the show again, bro. I appreciate it.
It's all good, man. You have a
Nah,
good one.
man. I'm happy to be aboard, man.
Yeah, we gonna do
Heck
more of
yeah, heck
these.
yeah.
All right, later.
All right, man. Be
Yep.
safe, man. Thank y'all for coming in and tune in next time, bro.
Yep, you already know. Yep, guys. Well, that's a wrap, man. See y'all on the next one.